Welcome to the PrinnyCast Roundtable, a weekly show where we talk about various musings in the worlds of gaming and geekdom from over the last week. I am your solo host for this week, as Mike is still settling in from his recent move, and Grover is at a massive 400-plus family reunion all weekend long, so we were trying to reschedule things. That's why I'm recording on a Sunday instead of a Friday. We tried for 3 days to get this worked out, and it just has not worked, so I'm going to just kind of run through a few things solo. Boss Etna's still here to direct me, and Randall's still there to help with corrections and such, and we'll just kind of catch you up right away. One of the first things you'll probably notice is Grover uploaded some Patreon videos as he's trying to get a Patreon together for his books. So if you guys are interested in that, take a look at that. And as for my news, the major thing was YouTube. This last week, and I actually found the other one. It took me a while. It got lost in my email somewhere, but I did actually get a notice for it. But I had two videos up on my music channel, and because they used the intros to various animes, they were discovered not by the YouTube bot, but the actual companies themselves, King Records and TV Tokyo, and they took them down. Now, thankfully, I don't have any strikes against my account, I'll give them that much, but still, this is a horrible way to treat your community, and I do not understand why they keep doing this, because you can put in Naruto on YouTube and find whole episodes in various languages that they've fan-subbed. You can find music videos that people have put together, all sorts of stuff. Some of these are several years old, and yet they go after somebody who's just use the footage for the sake of having something motion while original material is being used. I do not understand how this works. It's beyond my understanding, but there we go. So that was my irritation for the week. There isn't a whole lot to talk about this week. However, Comic-Con this weekend had two very big trailers that come out, once again for the Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. And I'm feeling a little better about it than I did the first trailer. I was really worried about it. You know, I'm going to see this movie anyway, but it's looking a little more understandable, but it looks way too packed. They're trying to tell way too much in such little time, and I don't know how they're going to pull that off. And then the new Star Wars, The Force Awakens, has a Comic-Con reel trailer. And I like this. It's not a trailer in the traditional sense. It's almost like a teeny tiny little documentary that's showing some of the behind the scenes stuff. And because of the fact that they're using a lot of traditional effects again, people were going nuts over this. They were using models again. They were using live action animatronics and stuff like that instead of just doing what Star Wars did. And majority of what they had there was just a lot of computer graphics. I'm sure there's still going to be quite a bit of computer graphics. And I think a merging of the two is not a bad idea. It helps bring a little more reality to the old school, but I don't know. And then the other movie trailer was Goosebumps. I didn't personally grow up with it, but I know of a lot of people that grew up with the Goosebumps books and the Goosebumps TV show, and that was basically kind of horror stories for kids at the time, and they're making a movie. I would kind of roll my eyes at this, but it's kind of got a Jumanji sort of feel to it, so there might be some good that comes out of this, though. Jack Black as the Goosebumps author R.L. Stine. That's kind of confusing. That's kind of different. The other two trailers I want to mention is Rodea the Sky Soldier, that's coming from NIS, and this is really not their usual stuff. It's not a tactics game, it's not even an RPG, it's like a combination of the 3D Sonic games and like Nights, if anybody remembers Nights into Dreams or any of those type of games from the Saturn, and then they made a remake of it that I think was on Virtual Console stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a different approach for NIS, and I think it's a good place for them to start. It looks really dated, it looks like an older game that it is, so there's that. But if you're looking for graphics, there's Allison Road. It looks a lot like PT, that trailer that was for Silent Hills, and you know the controversy about Silent Hills' cancelization. This looks like this could deliver a little bit of that. It's still got the job done. There's a great big long trailer. You can see some of it in the background. If you want to take a look at it, just look up for Allison Road with 2 L's. And I'll add a little addendum here about the whole Reddit situation. Alan Powell resigned. It's supposedly a mutual agreement, but Steve Huffman, who was the original founder and original CEO, has returned as CEO. I don't know if he's going to stay as an interim until they find a better one, kind of like how Ellen Powell was treated. But all of the mistakes she made, all of the horrible things that she's done, I have to give her a little credit for at least apologizing for the mistakes before she left, but the media is spinning it exactly as you would expect them to. Even the New York Times is saying this is basically a bunch of man-babies in their basements who complained about a woman being in charge, and yar, 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 and they got her thrown out. That is not what happened, and it is so amazing that the media, who pretends to be on the side of diversity, likes to accuse this sort of thing when it was people of all sorts, all genders, all sorts of races, all backgrounds. They just crammed them all together as these angry white guys in their basements. And somehow everybody else is the racists and the sexists. Way to go, guys. Let's just shut everybody up so we can label them as something evil just because they did something you didn't like, despite the fact that it was kind of obvious that she was screwing up. And it's even more funny because, remember, biggest episode over this was because she fired a woman who was beloved by the community before that. Keep in mind, that is the majority of the reason why she got the flack she did. So if this is about gender equality stuff, why are they ignoring the fact that this is what happened? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. Of course, you know how the media works. Anyway, that was my soapbox for the week. And really, that's all I have to say this week. I can't get into discussions with myself very well. Next week is EVO, so I hope the show will be kind of short enough that I'm not editing too much over the weekend, because if there's one sporting event I get into, that is EVO every year. You guys probably, the longtime followers of the show know that I'm a fighting game fanatic, so when the Super Bowl of fighting game shows up, I want to watch. It's the biggest hype. I also caught part of the last few tournaments too, like the CEO and the curly mustache, so I hate to see that Marvel has gone so much by the wayside, because I know it's been all but abandoned by a lot of people, but it is one of the most interesting, exciting games to still watch, especially since there's so many different playstyles out there. I know why Street Fighter's king, I know why Mortal Kombat is the big new flavor, but Marvel is still something to behold. But I guess that's it, so we'll catch you all next time on the PrinnyCast.